100%. Peace to the guys on earth. Yeah, man, I wanted to get back on here because I'm gonna keep doing these black knowledge and black history posts because a lot of people outside of the black nation just don't have the information and have been lied to by conquerors and rulers, so they don't get to hear the real stories. They get to hear the conqueror stories or the ruler stories. So yeah, I started one of my posts and videos here that gets a lot of comments is the fact that I said that Semitic means black African, right? A lot of people don't like that. They don't understand a Semitic is a language, right? They don't understand that the conquerors or the pale people, they want to call and classify people by language groups. You know why? They want to classify people by language groups instead of genetics and race, because anyone can learn a language, right? Anyone can learn. And that's the same thing with their trick and their word ethnicity, right? An ethnicity rather than a race or genetics that you actually are, right? It's all a trick, but I'm gonna point it out to you so you don't be fooled anymore and you can teach the next generation, right? So the trick is we're gonna label people things that anyone can do and learn, right? So we have to name them ethnicities because anybody can learn any cultures, ethnic backgrounds, any other cultures, traditions, and by language groups because anyone can learn a different language, right? Just because I can speak Hebrew doesn't mean that I'm those original Judeans, right? Just because I can speak Russian doesn't make me Russian. Just because I can Zhao Shanghao, Ni Hao Ma. Just because I can speak Chinese doesn't make me Manchurian, right? But that's the game the pale people play and why the reason why they want to name us language groups instead of what we actually are, our race, right? Because if we name us our race, then they can't sneak in on that because they're not our race, right? But they can sneak in if they play the language game. They can sneak in if they play the ethnicity game. Anybody can sneak into anybody's group, right? So, yes, peep game, right? This is what they've been doing for a long time, right? So the pale people have to name us by language groups. So that's why they call the people Semitic, right? Rather than saying it's black Africans. I'm going to show you and prove to you why Semitic means a black African and why these Europeans cannot be Semitic people, right? Semitic means black African because there's a reason why we created the languages, the Semitic languages, the written languages without vowels, right? Only black Africans can explain to you why. Go ahead and ask a European, pale-skinned Jewish person who claims to be Semitic why, when the Semitic languages were created, they chose to leave the vowels out. Ask any pale-skinned European who claims to be Semitic if they can answer that. And you'll see that they have no idea. Why? Because it's not their languages. All of the Semitic languages, not just Hebrew. All of their Semitic languages, not just Hebrew. All the Semitic languages come from black Africans, not just Hebrew. Right? So that's why the pale people like to group people by by language groups or by ethnicity. Anyone can learn and practice any ethnicity. That's how they sneak in. And anyone can learn any language and talk that language. And that's how they sneak in. They don't want to name us by race. If they name us by race, that's okay if you're pale. That's fine. Be pale and be proud of it. But know your history and know who you come from. Know who was the original man. It doesn't hurt to be pale or whatever. I got pale people. I got pale friends. I got pale family members in my family. Well, we can address that. What's racist? Racist is having the power to affect another race's livelihood, right? Here in America, black people don't have the power, political power to affect anybody else's life. So that's why black people like me say and understand that we can't be racist. We can be prejudiced. So you might want to actually get more educated and use the right term, right? We can be prejudiced, but we don't have the political power it takes to be racist, to oppress another people, right? So is there anything else you'd like to go over? Or can I get back to my Semitic stuff and why Semitic means black Africans and not pale people, right? So as I was stating, the pale people who claim to be Semitic, they cannot tell you why the vowels are left out of the language, right? This is why they think the name of God was lost, right? Why they only have the Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey, right? Because they think the vowels were left out. They don't understand because it's not their language, right? They converted, but they lie about it and try to pretend like they're the original. It's not their language, right? So what we have to do is show and prove and say, okay, if it's your language, tell me why the vowels were left out of the written language. Go ahead and explain to me what purpose and what reason why, when you people created the languages, you purposefully left the vowels out, since you know everything, since it's your language, right? And then when they can't answer, then you know you got them, right? Because only black people know why we left the vowels out of the written languages, in the Semitic languages. And the reason why we left it out, the reason why explains and proves that it comes from black African people. That's the key. And so that's why that's something they don't know. They think the Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey, oh, the vowels, there's no vowels and we don't know the proper pronunciation. That's wrong. You're an outsider. You don't know because it's not your culture. It's not your original language. You co-opted it, right? You took it over. That doesn't mean it's yours. That doesn't mean it began with you. That doesn't mean you understand it. That doesn't mean you understand why and for what reason it was created and built that way. See, we know. I know why the vowels were left out of the Semitic languages. It makes sense. And the reason why the vowels were left out of the Semitic languages is the reason that proves it comes and was created by black Africans. Peace. I got no more else to say about it. If you got questions, hit me up, ask me, holla at your boy. We can get on this knowledge tip anytime. We can go through religion, genetics. I love all of this stuff. I've studied all this stuff for more than half of my life, right? 40 years old. I've studied this stuff since I was 18, right? Done all the initiations. I've been part of Golden Dawn. I'm a Freemason, Knights Templar. I did all the degrees available on the York side of Freemasonry, right? So I did the first 3 degrees, right, which is the Blue Lodge. I became a Master Mason in 2014. Then I went on to become a Holy Royal Archmason. That's the Red House. Then after that, I went on to join the Royal and Select Masters. That's the Purple House. And then after that, I was dubbed a Knight. I'm a Knight Templar. I was dubbed a Knight Templar by other Knights, because that's the only way you can be made a Knight, is by being dubbed by other Knights. So I know what I'm talking about, and those who know. And if you want to ask some questions, you can ask some questions. You want to ask Freemasonry questions? I love talking about Freemasonry, esoterics, whatever you want to talk about. But I also love real history and world history. And since we're the original people and the oldest people, I love to talk about our history, right? So that's what I'm